First of all, then, congratulations on making the Papa John's Trophy final. You must be delighted. How much does it mean to you personally to make it to a major cup final like this one?
Yeah, it's absolutely, superb. The chance to play at Wembley for a player in, Leagues 1 and 2 is something that's very rare. So, we're all very much looking forward to it. And, personally for me, hopefully, I get a chance to play on the pitch and, we do well.
How much does this competition mean to you in the fact that you do get that chance to go and play at Wembley? I know a lot of players over the career might never get the chance, and for you, this is the first one, I believe.
Yeah, obviously I went to Wembley with Salford. Wasn't luckily enough to play that game, but fingers crossed it happened to me this time. And this competition is really giving me the opportunity to show the Tramere and the gaffer what I'm capable of in terms of scoring goals and putting in good performances. And it's really acted as a springboard for me to break into the league side. And we're doing very well in the league at the moment, so long may that continue.
Thoughts on facing a team like Sunderland as well, obviously riding high in Sky Bet League One, a team that have got a significant amount of history behind them. It's a really big task ahead, but one I'm sure you and the rest of the lads in the dressing room are looking forward to.
Yeah, we can't wait. I said this, in another interview. It's very unfortunate that, we're not going to be able to experience the full, the full thing in terms of what the Tramere fans and what the Sunderland fans would bring to the occasion. That's a little bit disappointing, but I think still it'll be a great day, a chance to play against a huge club. Again, not many lads in League 1 and 2 until Sunderland were relegated would have been able to say they've played against a club like Sunderland. That's absolutely huge. So I think we're very much looking forward to that, but without sort of giving them too much respect. We've got to go into the game and we believe that we can win. We've already demonstrated that we can beat teams in League 1 in Wigan, Peterborough, Oxford, and look where Peterborough are now. They're at the top of League 1 and we beat them. So why would we not believe that we can't go and give Sunderland a very good game?
As you just mentioned now, unfortunately at this moment in time, the way of the world at the minute, we won't be able to welcome fans into Wembley on that occasion. Taking out the supporters from the Sunderland camp, Tramere travel well throughout the competition in League 2, but we saw a couple of seasons ago when they were at Wembley, they were there and they made a hell of a lot of noise on that occasion.
Yeah, I think they took a very, very large number, something around 30,000, I think it was. So that would have been a brilliant experience for Tramere again to get to Wembley, or Prenton Park South, as they like to call it, the fan base. So it's somewhere, Wembley's somewhere that Tramere can feel very at home, and I don't think any of the lads will be getting overawed by the occasion. I think it's just something that we're relishing and we can't wait for.
You've spoken about it briefly there. One of the teams that you did manage to see off in this competition so far was your old club, Peterborough. Obviously scoring against them, that must have been a game that you thoroughly enjoyed as much as any this season.
Yeah, it was a good game. It was always nice to get the goal. I just felt like it was, a very solid performance from us. They brought on, a number of substitutes in the second half, which was close, made them close to their full strength side. And we managed to weather the storm until, they won a penalty late on in the game. But, I feel like of late, we've been very solid in all of our games in the Papa John's and in the league. And, we're getting the rewards for the performances on the pitch with the results that we're getting.
And then for you, this competition, 4 goals, somebody who's joined the club this year, it's been the perfect resurgence for you, hasn't it, since joining the club? It's been nice to get them goals, but it's also kept you in the team as well. When you've popped up with a goal, you might have gone on and to play in league action then as well.
Yeah, exactly that. This is, as I said, this provided a really good foundation and springboard for me to, come in, to a team, late on in the season. I come in, November time. So, for me, being able to play in those games in this competition has, been able, it's opportunity for me to prove, to the gaffers and, the club and the fans that, I'm useful. I'm a useful asset to the team and the squad.
And then for you personally, it's been a bit of a roller coaster journey, hasn't it, football? It was something that you nearly came close to giving up early on in your career for multiple reasons. Just talk us through that start to football and why you decided to near enough knock it on the head in that respect.
Well, there's been a couple of times that I've been close in my life through personal circumstances. When I was very young, the loss of my brother was massively affected me when I was young. I was only 17 when that happened, and really didn't understand where I was going to go from there. I was doing like a college course with TNS and then their sort of youth system and integrating with their first team when I was like 16, 17. Then our John passed away and just knocked me for six. I didn't really understand what was going on at the time. I look back now and I can't really account for 6 or 8 months after he passed away. I can't remember anything from it. I'm like an elephant with my memory. You could pick a game out of my career, I'd be able to tell you roughly how the goal was scored or how the game went, but that was just a proper blur of my. I don't ever wish to recall anything similar moving forward. So that was one time, and I was lucky enough to fall back into the game. My granddad George, my mum's dad, was a massive influence, pushing me back into football when I was just feeling really down, and he seen that's what I needed to pick me back up. And I was lucky enough that Southport, same thing with their young lads, and I just went and integrated really nicely into that second year and managed to finish my qualification. And then I just went on from there really, and did the rounds in non-league, and then the second time when I was probably the closest, to be honest, my last season at Fylde was sort of coinciding with me doing really well in my day job. And I was asking myself the question throughout that season: do I really need this? Do I need the heartache of sitting on the bench, coming on, scoring, doing well, providing for the team, and then not getting picked on for the next game? That's the worst part of football for me. It is literally, all opinions based in, at certain times in my career, the opinions have gone against me. And that last season at Fylde, I just felt like I was bashing my head against the brick wall for the whole season. And after the playoff final, we'd lost. And I remember saying to me, my fiance, but my girlfriend at the time, my fiance now, I don't need this anymore. And I'm just going to fully focus on my work and see where that gets me. And I'm just going to play with my mates. I really don't need this heartache anymore. It's too stressful. And I think all my family at the time were in support of the decision because they were seeing how unhappy that it was making me. Mm-hmm. And then, along came Jim Gannon in Stockport County, and the rest is history from there. That season was unbelievable, and I probably think that was the only club that could have probably stopped me from knocking it on the head because of the size of the club at the level, and just the how wanted the club made me feel from day one, and Jim and the staff and the group of lads we had that season was just eclectic, to say the least, and a really enjoyable period of my life. That, and then obviously I got my chance to go full time at Peterborough, and I look back on that season at Peterborough with mixed memories, fond memories from when I was playing. I had some really good experiences, hat-tricks in the FA Cup, and we got man of the match on Sky, and we played against Villa, beat Villa away, played against Leicester in the FA Cup. So really good experience for someone who's come from a non-league environment to be thrust into all of that in their first season in the EFL was really brilliant. And I look back at it with no regrets. I don't think I'd have changed anything I did at Peterborough. Enjoyed a lot of it there. But ultimately, was made, aware that wasn't to be for me there, and went to Salford, and and here I am at Tramere.
So we were just talking about your early days in football and where you are now, but you've had to overcome tragedy in your career, especially in your early part of your footballing days, with losing your brother so early on at 17. It's taken a lot of mental strength and a lot of character to come back from something like that, to turn up week in, week out on a part-time level, but then to be where you are now after battling with those demons and losing your brother at such a young age is a testament to your character and your mental strength in that respect.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I really appreciate that. I can't really say anything else about it other than that it was, extremely, extremely tough. You know, I was really young, so I didn't really understand how I was feeling at the time until, you know, I'd say a good couple of years later, until I really appreciated the magnitude of what was happening. But just to see the pain and the, you know, the disbelief really on, you know, my older family members' face, you know, my father and my parents and, you know, grandparents, and it was just, yeah, it was heartbreaking because he was such a bubbly character, and, you know, I still have, not that anyone would say it to me anyway, but I've still not met anyone who's got a bad word to say about him, which is brilliant, you know, massive testament to the lad and the character he was. But, you know, for me personally, it was just extremely difficult to even just focus on the smallest of things. And I'll say, trying to get back into football was just, I couldn't do it. I had no desire to do it. And then it was, you know, I say it was my granddad George who was literally just like, you need to shake yourself. Like, this is what you're meant to do. You know, in whatever capacity you're meant to play football. I remember him saying that to me in his kitchen one afternoon over a cup of tea, and he was going, you know, you're wasting, you know, what you've got. You need to be playing. I was just, you know, oh, Grandad, just leave me alone. Like, I'm not ready. And he just come out of the blue one day, said, right, I've got you to trial at Southport. And the one thing I remember, to be fair, I do remember the one thing that was a massive constant for me was I just used to go and run. Honestly, I just used to go and run like miles and miles and miles. And it would be literally, I'd just get up, I'd go and run in the morning, come back, that's something to eat, to go and run in the afternoon. It was just an escape. It was escapism for me, that. And then I remember going back into Southport for that, like, I think I went in at the August time and the lads had been back and whatever. And my first day was a track day. And I'd literally lived on the track, right, for 6 months. And then we were doing these runs. I was just flying around these runs. And all the other lads were just like, what? It was this freak. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I think, honestly, like, I remember the coach was Alan Smart. And as a trialist on your first day, you want to fly massively under the radar. But for me, I was just running, and it was just what I was used to doing. And at the end of the session, he's pulled all that and was going, well, clearly you have all not been doing your work in the off-season, because obviously, you know, this new come in and, you know, look at the level and that. And remember all the lads looking at me and just being like, yeah, nice one for that. But, you know, it ended up being quite a good season for me, that, and I, you know, really enjoyed it. And I scored a lot of goals, and that was really my first sort of season where he pushed me out wide. Alan Smart sort of made me from, I always wanted to play as a striker, and Smart, he was like, no, I think you could play as like a 4-3-3 wide player, but like, you know, coming in. And that was where that sort of position started for me. And then started going out on loan and things like that, and did the rounds in non-league. And yeah, that's sort of where it was all started really. But it come from, you know, really tough stage of, you know, I look back now and I was probably, you know, I had probably, you know, some mental health issues, or, you know, I was just really insular and don't want to use any, you know, buzzwords that people use with regards to mental health now, because I don't remember it. So I can't, you know, I'm in a really good place now, so I can't ever say that I, you know, I was, you know, depressed or I had anxiety or whatever. But, you know, that was just a tough stage of my life. But, you know, what come out of it has been really positive. Through, you know, hard work and dedication to something that I love. And, you know, I'm here now to, you know, enjoying it again at Tramere, and, you know, long may it continue.
And then to sorry to keep you on this subject, it kind of got a little bit like you couldn't see probably the light through the storm at that point, because obviously after losing your brother, you're involved in your own personal tragedy, or it could have been a lot worse than it turned out to be. Thankfully, it wasn't, and you're here to tell the tale. But you were involved in your own accident, weren't you? That obviously hampered your progression just over a year later.
Yeah, my dad probably won't ever let me forgive him, to be honest, and I shouldn't laugh, but I nervous laugh, it's really bad. But my brother's first anniversary, Southport's first team had just won the league to be promoted from the National League North back to the Conference. And I was in and around the first team. I made a couple of appearances towards the end of the season. So I travelled with the team the last game of the season. And then they had like a little bit of an end of season do. And it was like shirt and tie type of thing. And as I was driving home from the do, I said I was only 17, 18 at the time. And as I was driving home from the do, I was driving back home to me then girlfriends in Liverpool. And I remember as I'm driving, I was taking my jacket off as I'm driving. Shouldn't have really been doing that, but I was taking my jacket off. And I'd literally just put it on the back of the seat, threw it in the back, clicked my seatbelt back in. And just, I say, really lucky that it was just a single car accident and there was nobody else involved. But I'm going on a windy road. I'm on the back roads on the way back to Liverpool from Southport. And as I've just clicked my belt back on, as I've come back to view, I'm at a bend. And I've just clipped the curb with my wheel, and the wheel just went boom. I felt like the wheel just collapsed in, steering wheel locked, and I just shot across the other side of the road. I always remember when I was climbing up the embankment after I'd climbed up the car, because very luckily I woke up in the back seat and I managed to climb out the vehicle myself. It was an absolute mess, the car. And there was just like a Fiesta-shaped hole in this bush where the car had gone through. I remember looking, thinking, how am I alive? Like, really am. And I remember getting up onto the top of the road, and I had one of the first iPhones at the time, and like it wouldn't slide across. So I was looking at the phone, trying to slide it, trying to call someone. It just wouldn't slide across. Lucky enough, someone stopped and I used the phone, called me granddad and my mum and dad, and they called an ambulance. And then everything just shock set in, and I was just stiff as a board. I ended up like in Southport Hospital and that. It was, yeah, but I don't think my dad didn't appreciate the phone call that he got. But yeah, I'm all right. I lived, luckily enough, and yeah, still here to tell the tale, thank God.
Good. And thankfully you are here to tell the tale. You've obviously gone through the lower ends of football, as we talked about, your trips to Fylde and then to Stockport, as you mentioned. And that seemed to be a fantastic spell for you, one that obviously you look back on with great memories there, speaking about Jim Gannon before, fantastic manager to say the least. But it was a spell that really catapulted you and shot you on to the EFL live, really, with Peterborough, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was an amazing campaign, and come off the back of 3 enjoyable, 2.5 enjoyable years at Fylde, where we'd done really well. We'd got promoted from the Evo Stick the first year. I'd scored a lot of goals, enjoyed working under Chal. Chal was good for me in terms of, playing me on the left again and helping me, coaching me through. And then when I went to Stockport, it just took another level again. Jim was massively influential in my play as a wide player and getting the best out of me. And the group of lads we had there was just hilarious. We had some proper characters. That I look back on and was just, superb. Like I said, Gary Stockport and, Mark Ross and lad that's still there now, Sam Minian. And, we were just a boss group of lads that we just clicked instantly, do you know what I mean? And then, as the season's going on, I was just scoring goals and assisting goals. And I wasn't really trying to think about anything else that could come from it. But then towards the end of the season, I'd say maybe probably a month before the end of the season, then the inquiries started coming in from teams and speaking to my agent, and we were like, this could be it. I was like, oh damn, nah, for someone who's always said, I think I'm good enough. As it started to dawn on me, I was like, oh, I don't know, am I? Like, is this really, is it going to happen? And I think that last sort of month of the season, I was just on pins, every game, just thinking, is something going to happen? And end of the season happened, and fair play to Peterborough, like they were really forward in wanting to get something done, which massively helped me, because I'd have been a nervous wreck that summer me if it wouldn't have got done quick. I'd have probably been a nightmare to be around. But as soon as that deal got done, I was just like my fiance says, he was just like obsessed. He was like insane with it. Like, I was just straining. I don't even think I had any time off that summer. we went to like one holiday for a few days, I think, and I was just obsessed with making sure that I was going to be in the best possible shape to go back in pre-season for Peterborough. And, it was, a massive summer for me, and, a very enjoyable baptism into professional football.
And then we've talked about you're still here now, thankfully. You're playing your trade week in, week out for Tramere. How much have you enjoyed your spell here so far? I know that you joined in November, but it seems like you've really enjoyed playing week in, week out, and you're getting the most out of being there.
It's an old cliche, I'm enjoying every minute of it, but honestly, every minute of it has just been like so enjoyable. The club, the setup's brilliant. People behind the scenes, the backroom staff, are really helpful. Yeah, it's been massively enjoyable. The club, as is a massive club, and when I look back on my career and say that I'll be able to play for Tramere Rovers, it's something I'm going to be very proud of. The backroom staff are superb, and we've got a very, very, very good group of lads, very talented squad, and I'm just very lucky to be playing at the moment, given how good the squad is, and something I'm very thankful for. And long may it continue. But hopefully we go and achieve great things this year, and I'm a massive part of it. That's what I wanted when I came in. When I said to Dorsey and Parky were caretakers at the time, and I was just said to them when I went in training, listen, I'm hungry again. Like I need football back in my life, because obviously when I left Salford, I had like 10 weeks between leaving Salford and going into Tramere, and it made me really appreciate going into work every day, and luckily enough, my work is going into football and doing something that I love, and to do it at a club like Tramere is just amazing. I'm really thankful for the opportunity to come in and play, and we've had a really good run of late, and an absolutely huge win last night, which was massively enjoyable. Made the trip home much nicer, and long may it continue, and hopefully we crack on now and put a big push in for the end of the season.
How welcoming was Scott Davis? Because when you probably get a hat-trick scored against you when you're at a different club, it probably isn't the best way to go into a dressing room and introduce yourself, is it?
Didn't really get mentioned too much. I think everyone understands I was just playing for my club at the time, which was Peterborough. But Scotty, I think he's had 250, 300 odd appearances for Tramere. He's a Tramere legend, and he's the club captain. And I think I remember the first day I went into training, he was stood at the door, talking to one of the other staff, and was just massively welcoming. And everyone's been great. I don't think there's not been wasn't a transition period for me of settling in. I just settled in straight away, and that was because the lads made it that way. I'd like to think I'm a very approachable person, and you can slot me in anywhere really, and I'd just be able to crack on and get on with it. But the lads have made it seamless. And I can't speak highly enough of the club and the opportunity that they've given me. Very thankful for it, and just really, really pleased to be playing for Tramere Football Club at the moment.
And then, like you said, then last night, huge victory away at Carlisle. It seems to be riding high a little bit. I know last season was a very disappointing end to the season for the club, but it's something that they've put behind them in the true warrior style that Tramere show. And you never know, winning this competition could be a bit of a springboard to finishing the season on a high and hopefully getting promoted back up to League One.
Definitely. I think, as you've touched on it there, the unfortunate circumstances in the end of last season, which was caused the club to be relegated. It can go one or two ways. You feel sorry for yourself, or you can, lace your boots up and, grit your teeth. And I think that's what everyone at the football club's done after an admitted shaky start, really. The way that the lads have bounced back, it's been nothing short of exceptional. And I'm just happy to be a part of it since I come in. The run we're on at the moment is very good. I just think everyone is so focused in the group at the moment. Everyone's pulling in the right direction, And yeah, we're looking to achieve big things this season. You know, we've got a really good, you know, occasion to look forward to in a couple of weeks. But I say the lads are so focused on taking it game by game, and it really is like, you know, it's probably the best dressing room I've been in terms of players and lads that have played at, you know, a much higher level and coming down and still like look so hungry to just play every game and want to achieve and want to be winners. And I think that's what this group has got a lot of. It's just got winners, lads who have, you know, played at a really high level and, you know, just want to do better, want to make things, you know, as enjoyable as possible day in, day out. We have a boss laugh as a group. And, you know, spirits are high, confidence is high, and, you know, we're going into the game, you know, against Leyton Orient on the weekend full of confidence after a really good win last night.